Come on!
Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp has made me feel pretty old. While I've only played a portion of the first campaign so far, it's kind of felt like walking into your favourite pub full of confidence, only to find out it's changed hands, been refurbished, and the landlord has been replaced by someone who doesn't recognise your long-running tab, wants you to pay up immediately, and is going to set the bouncers on you while throwing your custom beer tankard with your name on it into a skip, laughing in your face. That is to say, then, that I don't remember Advance Wars being quite this hard. The thing is, while Advance Wars has been away, there have been a lot of tactics-style games that have filled the void. Fire Emblem is probably the one that most people will have gravitated towards, and where that series has offered multiple ways to beat the opponent commander, so to speak, Advance Wars often feels as though there's a set way to win based on understanding each individual battle, the units you have to make use of, and victory conditions. Unit placement is key, and everything here has a reason and a use case, with every turn feeling vitally important. From movement to target range, and by the way, understand that the AI here isn't bad, even on casual difficulty, and will often ensure it never leaves a tank, for example, within artillery range. There's fuel and territory to control. You might be forgiven for looking at the art style though and thinking this is a game aimed at younger audiences. That's just not the case so far. The AI will wipe the floor with you on regular difficulty, and when you're learning, there's a chance that might make you feel a bit hard done by. For example, once you get to choose a commanding officer, or CO, to use, you'll do so based on the mission type and what their CO power is. These powers are built up over time and damage done and success on the battlefield, and can change the tide of battle. But again, within the first few hours of it, you're going to feel like the enemy CO almost always has a better power than all of yours. Take Andy, the first of your COs. His power will repair your units by 2, when they have 10 total, and enhance their attacking capabilities for that turn. He feels the most balanced to begin with, as there are few trade-offs for picking him. The rest have passive changes, which makes them harder to get to grips with, though Max can do more damage with units up close and quickly becomes a favourite. Great, you might think, I can hit people harder up front, but you lose mobility for that. Sammy can capture buildings more quickly, only she sort of also can't, not really, because to capture a building, you must knock its power down to 20, and while everyone else can do 10 per turn, she does 15, which still requires 2 turns like everyone else, although, again, it also sort of doesn't, because it depends on how much health you've got as to how much capture you do. To make the most of Sammy, you kind of need to ensure your infantry is fully healed and not damaged, and that's not always easy. On the other hand, Blue Moon's Olaf can change summer to winter, really messing up your plans, and Grit can extend his range, while Green Earth's Eagle can use his CO power to take a second turn with all units, albeit at a reduced damage output. Now look, before hardcore fans start to shout at me in the comments below, yes, I know it's supposed to be difficult, but for newcomers, of which I'd wager there might be quite a few, the difficulty is going to be quite a surprise. And it might sound like that's got me down a bit, but that's kind of not the case at all. It's all just part of the process. What that means is that this is a faithful reboot, and that whether you like the art style or not, which I do, but most people seem dead against it for some reason, you aren't getting a dumbed down version of these classic games based on what I've played so far. Fans might plough through the early stages, but I'd wager unless people have been replaying the originals more recently, they will have to scratch their heads a bit and get the thinking caps on. That said, there are already difficulty spikes that go both ways. It's tricky to know if at this stage it's just that I'm happier playing certain mission types or not. I seem to struggle with warfare when there's no bases available to create new units, but when it comes to air and sea support, I tend to dominate no matter the CO I pick. The yellow section of the map, for example, absolutely annihilated me over and over with its first mission, but when I beat it, easily eventually, I wasn't too sure what tactic I'd changed in order to do so, and then the following missions I just beat the first time multiple times on the trot. It certainly seems like because I could build units I had an easier time, but time with the rest of the game's first campaign will tell as to whether this is the case or not. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp so far seems to scratch an itch I didn't know I had. Failure isn't met with frustration, instead it's greeted with a smile and a hurried restarting of a battle with a want to do better. I may still be relatively early on in the campaign, but despite having played these games over 20 years ago, they feel fresh again. The cartoon aesthetic feels right for the characters mostly, and some of the music absolutely slaps. If you go in expecting to be a master because of the tactics titles you've played recently, you're probably going to get your ass handed back to you. But like when it first released, it seemed Advance Wars is a game I have needed to retrain my brain for, learning the deep mechanics and understanding the complexity of the amount of options on the table, and I can't wait to dig deeper to see more of what it has to offer. Thanks for watching my video preview of Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, which is coming to Nintendo Switch on April 21st, 2023, after a few delays. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button, and leave a comment if you were alive when this game first came out. I'd be interested to know how many people are new and looking into it because it's like a new Switch game, or if they're just lovers of the original games. Be really interested. I'm old, so I was there, and so were my mates. And yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.